right, this is your lifeline going around your thumb. Doesn't have to do with how long you're going to live. It's an indication of your pulmonary system, your lungs and your breathing. This is your head and your spine line going right across your hand. Tells you how smart you are and if you've got problems in your spine. And then this heart line right here is an indication of your heart health and your emotional status. So on the left hand is the past and your inherited qualities. Then your right hand is your present and your future. So we're only going to read one at a time and not too much on the left hand, mostly on the right hand. Going around your thumb here, your lifeline. Doesn't look too bad. Headline, heart lines. So let's look at that lifeline here. You want to look for breaks in it. If you have breaks in it, sometimes that means you had or will have an operation that stops your breathing. No breaks in your hand at all. So that's a good sign. The lines on the inside of this line are guardian angel lines. We'll do that in a few minutes. There's a timeline on these lines. Every 1/8 of an inch is about a year. So I have to count that and mark it on your hand. We're going to count this lifeline then. This is about 10 years old, right smack on the side of your hand. Let's go backwards. We'll count backwards on this line. 10, 9, 8, 7. Here's 6 right here. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's your birth right here. Let's look at your birth. What you don't want to see in the lines are little islands. They break the energy of the line. You have a little bit of an island right here. It's not very big. Right here on that lifeline. What about your birth? Did you have a rough birth? Do you know about your birth?
Yeah, I did.
Tell us what happened at your birth.
I was premature.
How much premature?
I was 3 months premature.
Here's 10, so here's an injury. Pretty good sized injury. See the island in there?
Mm-hmm.
At about 11 and a half. It lasted for a couple of years. Here's a point that's about 15 years old. 15, 16 and a half, you got a good sized injury right here. In a car wreck or anything at 16 and a half that you know, that would be about a sophomore or junior in high school?
Nope.
Okay, got some little injury in there. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's 20. How old are you now?
27.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Ooh, you got a guardian angel at 25. 26, 27. Well, you got a little island in there at 27. It's not bad, though. All right, your guardian angel lines are lines that come on the inside of this lifeline. They will come down and they will touch on your lifeline at the age you were when someone died. That would be like a relative, a parent, a grandparent, cousins, any kind of a relative, grandpas, grandmas, or good friends, or just somebody maybe you knew in school. Here you got one at 25, right here. Let me count it again. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. All right, there at 25. I have to find 3 lines that converge. There's the death of the person. And see the line coming right here?
Mm-hmm.
That's your guardian angel line. This is where it comes, is right here. And all 3 lines touch right there at 25. Do you have any idea who you lost at 25?
Yeah, my grandpa.
Oh, was he pretty close to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's a pretty good guardian angel line. Look, good, strong line. Now, you got another one coming here. And it's touching about right. Let me see where that touches. That's touching about 16, maybe 15 or 16. Here's the line that goes across. You have any idea who died at maybe 15 or 16? Could have been a friend in school, too.
No one that I knew of.
All right, think about that. Sometimes you don't remember that well, but when you think about it, you'll think of. who it might have been. But I noticed you had a really good one back here. That comes from the back now and comes in and touches. You have to find the line that goes across. You have to find 3 lines that converge. So if this is 10, this would be 9, this would be 8, this would be 7, and that would be right at 6 years old. So think about that one and see if you can think of someone that died when you were 6. That's a long time to remember back to.
Oh, jeez.
All right, you've got your grandpa. So think about who died when you were 15 or 16, and then who died when you were 6 years old. You might have to ask your parents.
Okay,
See if they can remember.
Well, I do know at 18, almost 19. Well, 18, but I was in a very abusive relationship.
Did someone die? No, someone would have to die to make a guardian angel line. I can see that you got a little mess going on right there. Was it a physically abusive relationship? Because it looks like it. Looks like it. It looks to me like you had a little bit of injury right in here, right in this area, right through here. Well, I pointed that out first time that there was a little island through there.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in a very abusive relationship, and a sexually abusive relationship.
And how did you get out of that? Did you just smarten up, or?
No, my parents helped me get out of that
Oh,
situation.
good for them. Good for them. Nobody has to be in that kind of a relationship ever. So then here's your head and your spine line, and I don't read too much on the left hand on that because I'll go to the right hand to see you're all out of place in your spine through here. And then here's your heart line. The heart line, usually if that comes up between the fingers, you're a first child or a last spoiled child. It looks to me like you're down in the middle of the kids a ways. 1, 2, 3, 4. How far down are you? Fourth?
Middle.
Well, middle is what number child? Fourth?
I'm the second child.
Second child. Did you think your mother had any miscarriages?
No.
Because I get one just before you that might have been a miscarriage. So you're just the second child. That's your line right there. And is there a couple of kids after you?
I have a little brother.
Oh, that's right down here. Okay, that's his line right there. Your heart line's a little bit fussy, but you're out of place in your spine where your nerves that go to your heart. That might be stressing those heart lines. Okay, we're going to do your right hand now, which is your present and your future. So, here's your lifeline coming around here. What we're going to read on that is achievement lines that come up like this. Here's your head and your spine line going across your hand and your heart. Oh my goodness, your heart line looks so much better in this hand. You must be doing something. You walk a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
That's keeping your heart very healthy because it sure was messy in that left hand. And then we're going to do the length of the fingers. Now, the length of the fingers is important because it's going to tell you what your talents are. So, long fingers mean one thing, short fingers mean another thing. And nothing's good or bad, it just is. God put all different kinds of people down here. Okay, here's where that finger should come up to the thumb. Should come up to right here, halfway on this joint on this finger. So, does that come up to that? Oh, not too good. When you got a short finger, means you're pretty good with numbers. Now, I don't mean math, I mean numbers. How are you with numbers? How are you with math? Let's ask first.
I'm not very good at math.
All right, you might not have had good math teachers. Numbers is another thing. Can you balance your checkbook or count your money? And
Yep.
okay, without any problem. Add and subtract in your head?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can be good with numbers. You don't necessarily have to be good at math. But I generally see the short thumbs on the Asian people, most usually. Although anybody can have a short thumb. I had an accountant one time. His thumb was only about this long. And I said, oh my goodness. I said, you must be good with numbers. Well, he says, I am an accountant. He says, I'm the top accountant in the in the office.
Oh, cool.
But he says, have a hard time, he says, because I'm a rock climber, and he says, I have a hard time getting my thumb up over that knot in the rope to get up the rope. So it sometimes has a disadvantage. When that's a short thumb, though, good with numbers. Okay, the index finger is an indication, it's the boss finger, of whether you're good with management or not. It should come halfway up this joint on this finger. It's slightly above average. So you're probably a little bit good, but that isn't your best quality. When that finger's a little bit short, you work well on your own. So it's an indication of teaching finger, political finger, sales finger, any of those things. And I say it's slightly above average. This is the business finger. It needs to be about the length of your palm. It needs to be, oh, that's a good business finger, because you've got kind of a short palm. Good business sense. When that's kind of short, that's a social worker's finger. Oh, you're a social worker major in college.
Mm-hmm. I am.
Well, you might make a business out of it, my dear. You might have a little business going on there. Here's the length. This ring finger is your creative finger. When that's quite long, you see things. You're very imaginative, and you're inventive and very creative. And it's a little bit above average too. So keep that in mind, but it doesn't overwhelm this business. Your business finger is your best finger. Now here is this little finger. Actually, these are your brain fingers. This is your right brain finger. This one is your left brain finger. So this little pinky finger is your scholarly finger. It means you work well with words and letters. And it needs to come up to just to this line where the joint starts on that ring finger, and yours just barely makes it. So words and letters is not your favorite thing to do.
Words and letters?
Yes, writing. Doing, is that true?
No, I actually like to write.
You like to write?
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't think you're going to be a book writer. I think you're going to have a business that's in social work. That's where your major talents are. Okay, let's go here to your marriage lines. Here's the end of your heart line right here. And look, when you got these little tassels on here, it means you're kind of a flirt. And that's a good sign. It means you interact well with people. The marriage lines go horizontal. Here's the early part of your life, and here's the later part of your life. And then your children lines go vertical across those. So coming up here, you don't have much of anything in your early part. Here's one really good marriage line. Oh, before that, you got a kind of a weak relationship line in there. But here's one really good marriage line. Breaks right in the middle. You may have one little break up there, but you get back together again. And then here it goes. That's a good 40, 50-year marriage. That's excellent. And no marriages after that. Just one marriage. And then children lines. I'm getting a line. They go right straight up and down this way. They're fairly close together. Let's see where we're at here. Here's one. And here's another one. Here's two kids. I cannot tell whether they're boys or girls. Sometimes the girl line is the stronger line because they only have XX genes and men have XY, which weakens the system. But I see two children lines in there. Let's go down to this money line here, because you've got one good money line. It comes here at the little finger and goes right straight down there. See how good that is? Nice and solid.
Uh-huh.
Well, when this is your health line right through here, and then when that hits that headline, this is money line. Good, solid. You got a double money line going on there. Probably you'll marry and you'll have two incomes coming in. Double line there. Then when you get to your retirement, you've got three money lines, three sources of income. When you get, and you always want to look at that because that's kind of a diagonal line. As the difference with that and the children lines, they're up and down straight this way. Okay, so you got one good marriage line and two little kitties there. And one good money line. All right, let's look at the heart line here. It actually starts in between the index finger and the middle finger. Goes this way, and it's got a nice curve in it. When you've got a good curve in your heart line, you've usually been in a loving, caring family, and you're fairly stable emotionally. If that line's quite straight across your hand, it means that you haven't had a lot of emotionally support when you're younger. But you're getting some stress on that line. Here's about age 20, 30, 40, 50. See, you're getting some stress on that heart line from your heart, but you're out of place where your heart nerves are in your spine. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go over this little area right through here. Is called the Mars area.
Okay.
And it's this upper Mars, and you'll see where you've got a nice little fat pad right in there. Can you see that little?
Yeah.
It's called a mount, and that's your sixth sense. When that mount is quite high, you're quite intuitive. So pay attention to that. If you need to solve a problem, just drop it and let your mind go blank, and let it sit for about 10 minutes, and all of a sudden you'll have the problem solved when you go back to it.
Okay.
That's your intuition kicking in. And you've got good intuition. If that's kind of concave, you don't have very good intuition. You have to work on it. Now, here's your headline right here. So, upper spine. By the way, yours goes right straight across your hand, which is good. It means you're smart. If it comes over and droops down and goes into this area through here, maybe you're not as smart as you'd like to be. So that's a good straight line across there, but you don't want to see these little islands in the hand. Boy, you're getting them right here. Now, you don't have it too much up in there, a little bit right there. Right here, that's right where your heart nerves are. And then you've got a little spot down here in your lower back. It's not too bad though. This is kind of in between your shoulder blades and up in your neck. Here's your heart nerves right here. If that's turned out of place, it sits on those nerves on the side. That vertebrae is turned out of place, and it goes to the area of the organ in your body, and it stresses it. And I think that's what's making the stress on your heart line here, is that you're turned out of place right here in your spine.
Okay.
You see a physical therapist or chiropractor or someone that can maybe straighten that up for you a little bit, because you're all out, almost like you've had scoliosis, which is right at the neck and going down to the waist area.
Okay.
Because see, you got two big islands. That's about 1, 2, 3 vertebrae, 4, 5. That's about 5 vertebrae that's turned out of place.
Oh, okay.
Then when those are turned out of place one way, you're going to get, in order to compensate, it's going to turn that spine out of place the other way so you can stand up straight. So it twists like this. So that's why you're getting that out of place a little bit in your lower back. Okay, but your headline's smart. Let's do your fate line here. Now that fate line is going to tell you about your career.
Okay.
Every time that breaks and starts again, that's what your career is going to do. And that's going to tell you also how long you're going to live. So here's your early life down here. And when you have a fate line that starts right there in the middle of your hand, it means you're kind of a private person. You don't like to have people around you all the time. If that line comes over and swings out like this into this fat pad, generally a sociable person. You've got to have friends and people around you all the time, or you're not a happy camper. But you don't. Yours is kind of a private line. Comes here. It looks like you got a little eye. That means you've had a little trauma in your childhood. Comes up here. This is about 40, where these two lines cross. 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 31, 30. Well, there you've got a line coming off there. I think you'll marry at about 28 years old. A little change in your life a little bit there. You might not have to work as hard. Then you're probably in the right career. You'll graduate and stay in the same career till you're about 36. And then it just moves over just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. And comes up. Then it moves over again when you're about 43. and comes up here. Here we are coming up here. And that really moves over when you hit about 55. You may get to retire at 55. To tell you the truth, I don't think you'll be working that long. Looks like you'll probably maybe just be a mommy for a while. This looks like you're going to be working in your, maybe in your 40s, but then it changes right here in your kind of your middle 40s. Comes up here. Here's 80, where this ring is right around his finger. That's 80. It crosses over 80. And it's coming up. Here it is. There we are. 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 89, 90, 91, 92.
Wow.
How does that sound to live?
Wow, 92.
92, yes. That's not bad. You've got a little tiny bit of an island in here. But you got to watch that. When you get those islands in that fate line, sometimes it's cancer things. So anything you see in here, you better start on a cancer diet type thing just to ward that off. We all got cancer cells in our bodies. But if you get your dark colored vegetables, fruits and vegetables, about 5 to 9 a day, then you can ward off cancer, and you've got a little bit of a sign in there. So that will disappear if you get on a good cancer diet. I've seen that happen before. This is this line coming here. Just below your money line is your health line. You're coming here, but you got a little tiny break in that line. You might have just something. That's your internal organs. Just a slight problem with your internal organs. Just a slight problem. All right, let's go back to let's see. So that's your fate line there. Here, let's jump over here to your lifeline now. And what we see here is these lines on the inside of the lifeline are visits from guardian angels. And here would be 10 years old. Let me change that. 10 years old. 11, 12. I got a visit there at 12, 13, 14, 15, and then 15. Did you have something happen at 15?
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Tell us about that. You got a good one at 15 right there.
I can't think of anything that happened.
Let's see, when did your grandpa die?
When I was 25.
Oh, when you're 25. Okay. 15, 16, 17, 18. I get another one at 18. 19, 20. All right, here's 20. 21, 22, 23, 24. Here's 25 right here. Now, I get a slight line in there. You can just see part of it. What happened when your grandpa died? Did you have a visit from a guardian angel?
Yeah, I think so. The day my grandpa had passed away, I was afraid to go to bed that night. And so my mom told me that I should say a prayer to him. And so I did. And as soon as I was finished, I just had a sense of calmness come over me, and I fell right asleep.
That was a good line at 25. By the way, your male spirits will sit on your right side, and the female spirits will sit off to your left side. And sometimes if they come down and they've got a lot of energy with them, you can feel the little brush with your hair. And they're there to help you. The spirits cannot see. They can see with, the Bible tells us they can see with spiritual eyes, but they cannot hear anything here on earth. But they can speak to you through your mind, back and forth. So listen to anything that's kind of intuitive. It may be your guardian angel talking to you.
Okay.
All right. Here we are at 25, 26, 27. So you're right here in your life right now. Going along your lifeline here. Oh, it's good and clean. Look how nice it is. It doesn't have breaks or anything in it. That looks good. that looks good. I don't see any accidents or any, but if you have breaks in that, generally means you need an operation, like it would stop your breathing, or you had an accident or something, but yours looks nice and clean. And that fate line looks good. Now, let's do the shape of the hands. The shape of the palm is important because it's going to tell you about your talents also. So, square hands are kind of athletic. You've got a little bit of an athletic sign up here, but not totally. But a round hand is artistic. Look how round that palm is. Do you do any artistic things at all? Sometimes artistic just means that you see things that look good together, that match, and that you don't have to necessarily have to paint or draw or anything like that. And it could be musical also.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't draw or paint. I do like to write and stuff.
That is artistic. Imaginative.
Mm-hmm.
That's artistic. If you think of things that match well together,
Yeah.
that look good. Now you've got a musician's hand will be a little bit square at the top, and then quite round at the bottom. It's a combination of athletic and artistic. If you have a real long palm, it's philosophical. You don't. You've got quite a short palm, so you're not terribly philosophical. You're more creative and artistic than you are. Plus, you've also got, see this line right here?
Yeah.
Coming off the fate line, coming right up here, right into your creative finger. I might be wrong. You may do some writing, because that's a creative achievement line. That's an excellent line to have in your hand. Let's see, the shape of the palm, then your fingertips are your personality. So, pointy-fingered people like fine things. Square ones, they're generally like this, kind of square. You'll see those on macho, stubborn. The spatulates are wider on the ends than they are in the finger part. You'll see that as intense, dramatic. Actors, actresses have those. You've got a good finger there for your actor, actress. And round, intuitive, quick, very compassionate. Generally, people with round fingertips belong in the health field. Now let's see what this one is. Well, that one's a little bit square. That's a little macho. I see the square fingertips generally on the cowboys. And this one's a pointy finger here. See the pointiness to that finger?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, pointy people like fine things. They're diplomatic, but they're always collectors. Do you collect?
Yes.
What do you collect?
Porcelain dolls.
Okay, that's that pointy finger. Let me see if you got other pointy fingers. That little one's a little bit pointy too. This one is, well, it's verging on spatulate, but this one is definitely spatulate. Can you see how it's kind of fatter at the top there than down the finger part? Both of those are a little bit fatter at the top. That's your actress fingers. Intense, very dramatic. So there's your calling. Maybe that's what this business finger is going to be, because I know your field's social work. And anytime you have little triangles in your hand, they show up on the fate lines sometimes. It's an indication of it's a lucky sign. I thought I saw one somewhere on your hand. Maybe not. Look, here you've got your fate line comes up, but it veers over like this a little bit. When that line goes over towards that index finger, it generally means fame, and you've got a little bit of a fame line in there, my dear. That's a good sign. Maybe you will write a book or something. Here's your sexual libido right here. You want to feel a nice fat pad right here. Also, if you're drinking good water, you're going to get fat pads in your hands. And that means it's healthy. That's a nice fat pad. That's very, very good. The more water you drink, the better your sexual libido. Okay, I think that's about it. We've covered most of the things. In your hand, let me look at your rings around your 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's what you want. Health, wealth, and happiness around your wrist.